Facebook settles a multi-million-dollar lawsuit that affects minorities and senior citizens around the country. What does this mean to you?
The Isiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Facebook overhauls how it targets housing, employment, and credit ads after settling a lawsuit. Now, the social media giant paying out $5 million over complaints its targeting technology allowed advertisers to exclude minorities, women, and older workers from offers of housing, employment, and credit offers. Facebook says it will no longer allow those kinds of ads to target people by age, gender, or zip code. Here to discuss this is technology expert Nick Wolney and Tamara Washington with Boom Media. Glad to have you guys both on here. Were you surprised that Facebook was allowing this in the beginning? We heard about it maybe a year or so ago that this was going on, and I was like, well, Facebook couldn't be doing that. They couldn't be that dumb. But now they're settling the lawsuit.
Well, look how large the company is. One thing about business is when you start hiring people, you have certain intentions, but things start to happen and unravel that you don't know about until things like this happen. It is a possibility that they knew a while back and was trying to do the things to implement it, but it was the lawsuit that really pressed the gas.
Nick, let's take a look at the problem that we've had with Facebook when it comes to this particular lawsuit in this case. Exactly what were they doing specifically when it comes to minorities and the elderly and others in our community?
Well, what makes the Facebook advertising platform a favorite of advertisers is that it has really robust targeting options. You can get in front of exactly the people that you want to get in front of, as opposed to other advertising strategies. You can exclude or filter out certain audiences. The issue that comes up, and what's really surprising, is when people are being negligent or perhaps being discriminatory with those exclusion processes. And really, you know, the fact that Facebook didn't do anything about that for a long period of time. So it's a surprising decision because they're actually doing something about it rather than, oh, I'm so sorry, oh, you know, we'll take a look at it, but then no action actually coming. So the fact that they are going to take a look at their targeting platform, which is the source of 98+% of all of Facebook's revenue, and make it less robust, it's a really strong decision, really interesting to watch.
And for those who may be concerned exactly what they did, an advertiser could go to them and say, let's exclude blacks out of this.
Right,
it was that bold.
Well, you can get so specific in terms of who you want to be in front of, but again, what makes Facebook's platform really powerful is that then you can stack your specifications. So you could say, well, I want to be in front of people in this zip code, but I'd like to filter out people who, you know, like this certain page or are this certain salary demographic.
So there are ways of getting to it without specifically saying.
Absolutely, and so on the one hand, that's what's made this platform a favorite of local business owners and big brands alike, but again, what is surprising is that people were using this for negligent purposes and Facebook wasn't really doing anything about it. Again, going back to they're just such an enormous company, who knows if they actually have their eyes on all the ads.
And Tamara Washington with Boom Media, when you take a look at the $5 million settlement, is that enough? Will that send a strong message to Facebook?
Sometimes you can't put a price tag on it, but it will send a message, and I think that it sends a message on both sides to consumers, and it also sends a message for Facebook as well, especially with the leader that they have there, CLO Sheryl Sandberg. She's a woman. She's standing up and saying, I do understand. So that does speak volumes. So I think people will be able to see it on both sides, from Facebook and the consumer.
And what about us as consumers, users of Facebook? Will we see any difference, or will it be solely based between Facebook and the advertisers?
I think for now, the biggest changes will be between Facebook and the advertisers. We need to see what happens. Mark Zuckerberg has said that this year is going to be the year of kind of pulling back, reestablishing privacy, gaining trust. And so on the one hand, this is it's a good step. It's action in the right direction, right? You know, but we'll have to see how it plays out in terms of the user experience. All right,
Nick and Tamara, thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We'll be back with more Factor. We leave you with DJ T. Gray.